Thank you for staying tuned to the conversation. We are still talking about music, as we said earlier, that today is all about music. And now we are looking at music as a tool for social reformation. Aside being a tool for entertainment, music can also be used, to educate, inspire, and of course, challenge norms. And joining us on the conversation is a music artist. He is Maye. Did I get that right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Maye, you're welcome to the conversation.
Thanks so much.
So let's begin this conversation. The name Maye, what does it mean?
Yeah, okay. So in Hausa, Maye means a
Maybe
wizard.
just give us a background. Tell us about yourself.
All right, okay. About myself, I'm from Sokoto State, but I stay in Lagos. Yeah, so.
So what's your name? Your original name?
My original name is David Collins Yowesi Ibrahim.
Oh, okay.
David Collins.
You put the outside name at the back. You put David Collins. Okay, all right.
Okay. So how did you come about Maye?
Okay, so Maye means, or should I say, it depends on how you add it. Like if you say, in Hausa, if you say Maye and Waka, it means you're a wizard at music. So yeah, so it's like a guru. So
Okay.
me, I'm just like the guru of music.
The guru. So
Yeah,
you picked out the okay. So
Yeah.
to depict what you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure that. So I just hope your story will be different. Most times, the people who come on the show and then we ask them, "How did you start singing?" You hear music found me. I started singing from my mother's womb, or the church. So for you, tell us the story.
Okay. For me, it's the church.
Okay. Church boy.
Because my mom, like I would say 2 generations of my family are all chorus stars.
Oh, so it's in the family line.
Yeah. So my dad too sings, but it's not really. But yeah, but my granddad was a musician. May so rest in peace. I just got found out this year that he had a band himself.
Oh,
so
wow.
and I also have a band now. So yeah. So yeah.
So it's a generational.
It's a
generational calling.
Yeah.
And then you're flowing.
My mom told me go join the choir. I was just 8 years old. So and that's from the children choir, adults, adulting, and
Okay. Do
everything.
you play any musical instrument?
I play the guitar.
Aha. String guitar?
Sing.
Ah, okay. So what fascinated you to the guitar?
I would say I've always just been drawn to it in a way.
Okay.
Like just seeing people, because I was always wondering, okay, what is he touching? What is he playing? So it was easy for me. And during the 90s, I would say I was small, so I started making sense of myself. 2000, so I would say early 2000. Sonia Day.
Wow.
Amazing that you can mention.
Yeah, I was still small, but I still remember some. Yeah, so Sonia Day.
So you see that even what our guests said,
Yes.
that the young, they're still tapping into the
They are still
old.
drawn to
Of
what they
course.
do.
Okay, so at what point did you decide to take music seriously?
Okay. Wow, that's a good question. I think it was the first time I went to a music studio. I was introduced to by my uncle, one of my uncles, to his friend. He took me to his producer's place. So I was already waiting. That was the first time I ever recorded. So I was just waiting to record my own song. So just that first freestyle, then I saw the whole reception. Everybody after the freestyle were like. So that's when I knew, okay. I wowed them. So yeah, that's when I knew, okay, I have to take this serious.
What year was this?
I can't remember. I was practically a teenager.
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, let's just say 2018, 2017.
Why are you feeling like you're an old man? You're just feeling like you're one old man. Like I can't remember when I was a teenager, so I was waiting that, okay, let me hear the year. And then it goes 20 and I'm like, okay, really? That's it? Okay, Maye.
Yeah.
So did you learn or did you go to a music school, or because or you just rode on that back on the fact that most of your family members did music,
Yeah.
but then did you also go the extra mile to study music, or you're just doing this because of the love and the passion for the trade?
Okay. Right now, I'm not even just a musician. I produce music, and I'm also a sound engineer.
Oh, okay.
So literally, I didn't go to any music school per se. I would say it's just in me because
Okay.
you see, like
So
now,
you're self-taught.
self-taught. Most music producers can't even play the keyboard. I would say down to about 90 to 95%. So it's all just you. It's mostly self-taught, and it's just you. If you believe, then it will keep coming,
Okay.
keep coming.
So do you have a particular genre of music that you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Afro beats. These days we are fusing.
Fusion, yes,
So
Afrofusion.
if we fuse it with everything. So yeah. Shout out to everybody that is making it big right now. The music is really what's keeping us too as well. So yeah.
So we're looking at music as a tool for social reformation. And when you look at the word social reformation, what does that mean to you?
I would say how it affects everybody, and to create a very specific change. So that's how I perceive the social reformation.
Okay. And so if you look at, music as a tool for social reformation, and the fact that you do music, you produce music as well. We've had a conversation here this morning, and we've talked about the power of music and the fact that music is global. And music is able to break a barrier. And I guess there's something quite profound that if you were to cause a revolution now, just say nobody should play music, or nobody should play any sound shoot. And so that's how powerful music
course.
can be. So, but for you, if you look at the power of music, what role does lyrics play in that journey?
Okay, if you take a look at Fela, may so rest in peace. Take a look at Bob Marley, may so rest in peace. Those are like two figures that
Is that why you have a dread?
they okay. That's so those two figures are people who have really used music as a tool. Fela, for him, he's an activist. But Marley was always about peace. So yeah, so it always works. It's just I feel in this present age now we have Burna Boy. So yeah, and Burna Boy made a mark. After he said, everybody or every black, before you became African American, you were African. So that was really a triggering point for me. And how, no offense, but how the world is right now. So everybody is trying to know their place in the world. So yeah, music is definitely what it is.
I like the fact that you've mentioned King Sunny Ade, you've mentioned Fela, Bob Marley. So who are the others that their music and their life has inspired you?
I'm a Sule boy.
Wheezy.
Okay.
Wheezy's story is inspiring. Everybody don't joke with Wheezy. So yeah, my hood. So yeah, I would say Wheezy, Burna Boy, Asha. Asha is, in short, there was a point where I was practically sounding like Asha, One Day Cole. Yeah, those Davido, those people are.
So when you do music, and we did talk about the fact that lyrics also play a pivotal role when it comes to music. So what goes on in your mind when you're either producing for someone or you're producing yourself?
Yeah.
What goes on in your mind as to the kind of impact you want your music to have on people? Because again, we've just talked about generation after generation. And I mean, the names that you've mentioned this morning are some of the big names that we've also mentioned. And today they resonate because their songs were powerful. So what goes through your mind when you're also doing your music? Are you deliberate about the kind of music that you do?
Of course, I'm like practically deliberate about it because like you said, people before us have laid the map already. So yeah, like me personally, if I'm to make like a song right now with an artist, I make sure it speaks from their own shoes, so it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just giving in my own, only my own information, and so yeah, I make sure, and I would say like it all depends on uh, the vibe as well, the vibration, and that particular how the beat, because everything is all inspirational. It's all we are literally just. I don't even see us as we don't own any inspiration per se. We are just vessels. The universe and the creator just passes his information through us. We're just if you're a songwriter, producer, singer, we just bring it out in.
Okay.
Okay, so some of the big names that you have mentioned today is because their songs are evergreen.
Of course.
Whenever you listen to their music, there's always a message. Even though you've heard it before, when you listen to it again, it comes with a new message. But then when you look at, not you in particular, and I'm looking at music generally, when you look at the music industry today, and you look at the kind of music coming out, the lyrics, is it something that is evergreen that in the next 10, 20 years, people will still want to listen to?
Yes, I would say yes, because it depends on who you're listening to as well. Now it's now I would also push it to the government, because who the government pushes on its people, or the content of the music it pushes. If there are regulatory bodies, it will also set a standard, moving forward, because you have some countries that don't even want you to play music outside, for example. So if we are regulating our music moving forward, which is already done, but if moving forward in the future, if we put more effort as a country, not just the producers, because you see now, the music these days, because of how there's like, minimum wage issues, the money's not enough, the prices are hiking up, so I would say people are craving inspirational songs because they're going through a whole lot. So yeah, so there are certain key people that are pushing that genre per se. My boy TML, Ayomaf, we have new cats that are really pushing the inspirational thing. So it's still just we, but we need the help of the government and the whole people at large.
So are we doing enough with the kind of songs that we have or we produce today? Are we doing enough to preserve our culture? Are we doing enough to preserve our language? Are we doing enough to preserve our morals? Because again, you can only project what you also believe in.
Of course.
And so with the kind of music that we see today, and then talking about social reformation, I know something, Joy mentioned something earlier before this conversation. Must we have video vixens all nude or all uncladly dressed before we are able to glamorize some of these things? So are these hook, line and sinker that this generation would, or if you don't do those kind of music, is it impossible to find a footing in music today if we're talking about social reformation?
It's definitely possible. You see from just the only likes of VDM, I feel in this day and age, there's still this spark of reformation and music that transcends. So it's just what you listen to and what you choose. So I said the government. It boils down to even the parents, our mother and fathers at home. You can't just give your child certain level of freedom that will make them not.
I'm sure a lot of young people will come for you for that.
I know, but if you see, every parent will also be happy I said it, because if you can't, there's certain music you shouldn't even play in the house.
True.
I would support that gladly. So yeah, I feel it has to do with it's a thread. So we are all entwined in it. It's not just one person.
Okay.
From the household to the society to the music makers, we all have to put the work.
When you look at social media and how the music industry has evolved over the years, it has the good sides and the not so good sides. I would like you to also lay your voice on that.
Okay. Um, the good side of social media is that okay, you can if something bad is happening to you, you can as well just come out and just everybody will just know, you know. But the bad side of it is that some people get carried away, and they tend to they live in the illusion of it. Take for example, I don't know if you know of that man who had his wife. She was pregnant.
Yeah.
He, for me, I feel maybe personally, I feel he felt if he came online, live, one celebrity or one government official would be like, "Hey, your wife's pregnant. Take 2 million." You know,
Or
so
the one whose wife died.
died, yeah.
okay.
So I feel for me on that part now, you shouldn't do that. The social media shouldn't make you feel like you shouldn't box yourself in the illusion of it and feel anything can just happen to a point where you neglect your you know your duties.
Right.
So yeah, I feel we as a country and we as a people, we should there should be a balance. You know, there should even be a limit to how much social media you take every day. You know, so yeah, may her soul rest in peace. Talking about the woman who died. So yeah,
If I'm talking about how social media has influenced the music industry in terms of reach.
yeah, okay, I was getting there.
Okay.
So yeah, like that's why I said. I made that example. I said maybe he was expecting a celebrity or a government official to do something. So like in the music scene now, I would say it's easy to blow up because take for example TikTok for artists like myself, TikTok makes it easier to just
To
you know
project
to
yourself.
project yourself, make you more visible. You know, so yeah, and then but the bad side of it now, I would say for an artist is that we we get caught up in the
There's too much pressure.
yeah, too much pressure in the illusion of oh, this person is blowing up, oh, I need to
I
do
need to
something. I need to
also be in
also
that line.
and it also puts pressure on even our youths. You know, you see this person making money, posting his jewelry online, posting how many cars he has, posting you know, so it puts pressure on the present day youths. You know, so that's why definitely as a as so it creates this artificial sense of pride
Luxury.
and luxury and you know and thank God now China is making it obvious that it's not luxury. No offense.
Right.
So
I mean, in line with the question Joy asked, no doubt social media is also helping, you know, the projection out there. So if we look at the positives and the negatives, most definitely one will outweigh one. But then how do we also, for young people like you, also begin to use music as a tool to preach against some of these vices? Because there's so many vices out there. A lot of young people are really hooked on use of drugs at the moment. And that's really huge. And I'm glad that you mentioned so earlier as the hood. So, you know, not too much good stories also associated with this thing. So how do we also begin to ensure that music as a tool is used by young people to also preach against the bad things or the bad sides of some of those vices?
yeah, I would say they should no offense, but I feel the government is not really pushing the whole fella reform, his activism, you know what he because that's really the basis of the Afrobeats we push today.
Aren't we
When-
putting too much pressure on government?
No, we're not putting too much pressure because you see this thing with fella now, yeah. If we make this activism a big thing even in the country, whereby we have kids, when you talk about let's say you see like airplay, if we push, the government can control what is being fed to everybody else. So
But these same young people also didn't want social media control.
okay, now
I'm just trying
no,
to...
it's good.
Yeah.
I'm part of them. So yeah, you're right. Now, we have to start somewhere
Okay.
at the end of the day. So you know, And I feel they say the places where an elder have seen will sit down and sit and
Even
see.
if you stand as a
Even
young
if you
person,
even if you
won't
climb
see.
an Iroko tree, you won't see.
it.
So I would still just leave it to the hands of people that are older than us
Okay.
to really take a stand.
Right.
Because if we come and say, oh, everybody wants to sing inspirational music, everybody wants to sing songs about activism, nobody's going to have any song to jolly on a Friday. To jaye.
No club plays.
No club plays, you know. So it has to
It's a
be a balance
balance,
for me.
right.
Yeah, it
You're
has
still
to be.
talking about balancing now, because some people will argue and say songs about activism will not sell. And so when you want
You
to
can't cash out.
you can't cash out. And so when you,
You
want
know?
to do music, you want to look at how will I make money, you
Yeah,
know?
so
And so how do you think that also kind of affects the kind of music that is being dished out?
yeah, you're right. You're right. Now I feel music goes around. We musicians, we make it go around. It's either you're singing about, um, love, sex, drugs. No offense. So it's more of a mixture of what is going on around, because for an artist like myself, let's say if we're making a music now, we'll tell you to create a story that is not a story. So a story that is not a story has to be fused with this, because if you take, for example, Burna Boy can sing about the government and still chipping what he did with another girl, can chip in love, chipping. So it's really about fusing. So is now letting go of it entirely and not changing anything and just sticking to just love and no activism that is the problem for me.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's definitely just about who is pushing what and what is being pushed to the people. So yeah.
Right.
Sorry, do you think that, well, you're the young generation, do you think that music artists of today are really putting in a lot of hard work compared when you look at the older generation and the kind of music they bring out?
Yeah.
Do you think that the younger ones are putting in so much work, or we are just dwelling on inspiration?
Yeah, I would say, okay, I would say the older generation is just to really see it for what it is. Okay, take for example now, you don't before you needed to, like, maybe play an instrument. An instrument was a thing. A musician, you need to, like, at least learn one instrument, and in the old times you would have to be a very good musician for people to listen to you, and you would have to train, go to have rehearsals, train before you go to studio to record.
Isn't that-
Nowadays, it's a little bit easier,
Because the
and we
mixes
have
are
auto
there.
tune, we have auto tune, and we have AI. I can just mix your voice. I can even put some other person's voice, that's just generated.
Is that making this generation lazier
Okay, in a way.
in a way?
But due to the innovations as well
So
for
you
this
just say you're
generation, I would
using
say,
technology.
I would say, yeah. I say we're using technology, but as well, lazy, and we have the hard workers, because I'm part of the hard workers.
Okay, so you have
So-
two sets
Yeah,
of
we have
people.
2 sets of people making rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, so from that point of view, if you have people who are following the routine, who are, against all odds, are ensuring that you play by the books and play by the rules,
course.
and you have others who just think, well, it's an all-comers affair. We can just do what we need to do, and just, is this also healthy for the industry? And if it's not, what are some of the challenges that you see that this can pose, especially if we need to start making a reference to your generation in
Yeah.
future?
Okay, yeah, it will tremendously cause havoc if we don't even, this one now, it will practically start from our parents, because when a child you can't compare a child that is just growing and a child that is already grown. So I would say, if you can't cure, if it's a virus, no offense, you have to cure it, and just make sure that the young ones that are coming up don't
Do not
contact
catch the virus.
at all.
Do not have access to that virus.
So yeah, for me, I
It's
feel
a tough one.
yeah, it was a tough one because in a country like Nigeria, whereby even if the parents stop you at home, you can still go out to the schools, go out to your
and
friends.
then you get home and then you mask it up.
Yes, you go back to being holy. So yeah.
Listening to you and all the things you've said, it says to me that you come from a background of discipline.
Of course,
So
of course, both sides of my family are all are military. My dad's father is a soldier. My mom's father is also a soldier.
Oh, wow.
So you guys be
Did you grow up in the barracks?
Yeah, partly.
Okay, partly. So you grew up in Lagos. Tell us a bit
Lagos,
about. Okay.
Kaduna,
Okay.
Ilorin.
Okay.
My mom was giving birth to in Ilorin.
Okay.
Yeah.
But where were you giving birth to?
Kaduna.
Kaduna.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Lagos for?
I would say practically all my life in a way because my mom always from Ilorin we buy stuff here, go to Kaduna.
So you've been off and
off
on
and on
Lagos.
up until.
Tell us about your Lagos experience.
It's everyday life now.
The hustle is
The
real.
hustle, every day we we work hard Monday to Friday, we jai Friday to Sunday, and we start all over again. So it's just practically.
Are there life lessons that Lagos has taught you?
Shine your eye. Just shine your eye, because this is the city of excellence. So if you don't shine your eye, the person who is ready.
Okay.
we'll take it from you.
Finally, well, if Joy, you're done with him. Okay, before we allow you go, I hope I'm not going to say another finally. Your dreads.
Yeah.
Does it give you negative vibes?
Uh,
Not personally now.
Okay.
But from the perspective of others, because sometimes some people just say, this guy wearing dreads. So does it create create negative attention for you?
Okay. Aside that, there was this governor who came out for his own state
Yeah.
to say.
But he has since retracted.
Okay, he has retracted it. Okay, then I won't say anything about it.
But you can still make your point.
Okay. So I would say, just go back. If you go back in history, literally the pharaohs of Africa had dreads. They don't talk about it in this day and age. You see cases like Ibrahim Traore coming up with the same freedom and whatever. I would say in Burkina Faso he let people now free. Don't cut your hair anymore. So I feel if as a person, it just depends on how learned you are when it comes to hair, because this is literally your antenna. So it's just your antenna. It makes you know your surrounding even better. So yeah, I would say he said Africa is going to unite. So if we start cutting, what makes us whole, because I don't think there's any part of the Bible that says cut your hair.
They will bring it out for you.
Or the Quran that says cut your hair. Where is it? There's nobody said anything. God didn't say cut your hair.
Even Samson, God told him not to cut his hair. Let me add that one.
Me, I'm hiding my Samson's muscles, my video shakers.
You said these are video shakers. Interesting.
But but for you, it's your personality. It's what creates you, and this is
So
about you.
Yeah. Once people just see you as a person, although they be like, some people be like, boy, that one. But in general, Africa, Lagos, it just depends on where you are. Lagos is peaceful when you have your dreads. Everybody you walk around, a lot of people have dreads in Lagos. So yeah, it's and I would say the music itself, when you see the pioneers, some of them carry dreads. So I don't really see it as a problem for me. So it just depends on, like me now, from a military background, it's only because they've always known.
You know that in the barracks you can't do this.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure that our viewers would like to hear something from you before you go. So maybe you just like to do something.
Okay. I have a new single coming out. It's literally one of the best songs of the year. Yes,
Say
expect hot, hot.
Okay.
So yeah, it's titled Abena. So I'll just give you a clip of it.
Abena,
Okay,
is that
Abena.
is a Ghanaian word?
It's a Ghanaian word,
Right.
so it means for all the beautiful women around the world giving birth to on a Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah, so after you've worked so hard on a Monday,
Okay, so Tuesday is a good day to be born. Go ahead and give us something.
okay,
Naughty, naughty things me I want to you. Every night and day, there's a place for two. Position 69, when nothing there. It turned from red to blue, blue to yellow fever. Loving you make me shiver, but I know won't live on.
Was that really your voice? Thank God you sing. So there's actually your voice for singing and there's your voice
talking.
for communication.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Joy, I think we
All
need
right.
to say
Thank you
to
so much, Mai, for joining the conversation.
Thank you so much.
We've talked about music as a tool for social reformation.
Of course.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All
so
right.
much.
The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.